Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. With scrims going down in Modern Warfare 2 left, right and centre, we have some early results to discuss, with Minnesota playing Boston and giving them an absolute beating, but also some other matches going down elsewhere. But Clayster revealing that it won't be too long at all before these Scrim streams start to be turned off because of the toxicity from some of the fans in the chat. Very much into your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thanks very much indeed for doing that one. Just to mention quickly, because coincidental timing in a way, with Scump revealing his this is goodbye video, stepping away from the Call of Duty scene after this season, we then get just later in the day, really, or at least the next day, the interview with Pred and X did an episode of the Eavesdrop podcast. So yeah, definitely interesting timing. I don't think this was intentional, let's just say, but nonetheless worthy of mention, because Pred, I mean, look, who are they going to get next season? When Scump steps away, who are they going to get? To me, there are really three options, or let's just say there are two options, maybe three options if you want to consider Envoy, but I'm not so sure about that one. I would say either you split up the Tiny Terrors, you get Simp or aBeZy, or maybe even both, who knows what happens to that organization and that roster, or you get Pred, or maybe you do a mix and match. I don't know, but like, I think those are kind of some of the key options there, and I mean, yeah, Hex already giving him a lot of gas here, what it takes to be Rookie of the Year, no real surprise. And just this to say, with Scum, of course, stepping away, I thought this is pretty cool from a Hulk Hogan fan here, pointing out that this is the 2013 World Championship, the inaugural one that's going to be a decade ago come this upcoming season, and these are all the players that were attending there, and this is how many are still competing. We believe that John is still going in Challengers, Saints as well, and then Clayster obviously on Vegas, and Scump is still playing for this season as well. But apart from that, all the other names on this list are now retired or doing some other things. Of course, we've got Rambo, JCap, and even, Shane is down here, and, Karma, Killer, all these guys. They're doing various things in the COD space. Jerd, I'm not sure if he's still competing this season, so that got a question mark. But yeah, still to mention the fact that the longevity of these guys is very impressive indeed. Quick note on Uplink here, actually, because yesterday we discussed that Uplink is probably returning to Modern Warfare 2. And if it is, how does it work? Like, whether you can have jump pads. I don't know if you guys mentioned this, because I know that Lineman before has talked about the possibility of having a trampoline around the goal. Like, that'd be pretty cool. And maybe also, like, have jump pads, or just allow people in the vicinity of the kind of the Uplink portal to, even if you're on defense, you can jump higher maybe. Like, I don't really trust any developer to do that outside of Trek and actually make it work, but it's one possible port of call that I might go for Uplink going forward. And just to say this also in terms of the UI, because I know that the frustration is still continuing, I wonder if this has anything to do with it, the fact that they're trying to align Modern Warfare 2 with Warzone Mobile, where you've got these kind of big buttons, because it looks like you want to press it with your finger rather than having to use the controller for it, which is maybe understandable, but maybe also shows some of the direction that Call of Duty is still trying to go in. And this also to say, because the CDL stickers are seemingly in the game, we saw leaked a while ago the CDL camos, what we believe are the CDL camos, but yet they're not actually in the game yet to purchase or anything, so either they're trying to upgrade them, or more than likely they just either haven't forgot about them or something, or they're just giving it a little bit of time. But the skins, or the stickers at least, are actually in the game already, I think, and there's even some stickers for different players. I think I saw the other day people were mentioning that, like, Temp and stuff, like Temp has a sticker in the game, but he's on like the Minnesota Rokkr or something weird, so there's obviously something going wrong there within the game. But there are still some stickers in the game, which is pretty cool, but obviously we want to see the camos be a little bit better and actually people be incentivized to get them, because right now it's not looking so good. Few complaints here from Shotzzy about the state of the game, and this is something I saw yesterday watching aBeZy stream. Like, whenever he got flashbangs, his face would just go full wide. It was actually hilarious to watch, and the same thing here for Cryptic, really. When I get flashbanged in this game, it's honestly hilarious, but it's very true indeed. When you get flashbanged, you look like this. It's pretty tough scenes, and this is the other thing from Shotzzy, like, if you want Dead Talent as a perk, and yeah, to 12,000 likes, I guess I gotta give this one a like as well, because at the end of the day, this is one of the key issues I think holding back Search and Destroy. I know that Shotzzy knows it, I know that others know it, and yeah, crouch walking around waiting for Dead Talent is not going to be the most entertaining meta to watch this year, but it is nonetheless probably what we are going to see. And Hitch even has a decent idea right here in the reply, saying that, like, what if we just have a silent footsteps option? Why is it impossible for the developers to put into Search and Destroy, or put into any custom game, the option for silent footsteps? And if you added that in, that would be a massive step in the right direction, but it's doubtful again they're going to do that. But still, the CDL was of course a fantastic idea, because it was going to give all the teams much more control over the state of the game from the competitive perspective. This even from Cryptic right here, like talking about the spawns, right? Another key point of concern right now, like whoever made this game spawns, you have the Cryptic authorization codes to put him on the street and or gulag him with Bayonetist from and throw that key in the middle of the ocean. Thank you, hashtag, etc, etc. So yeah, Crim also also isn't happy with the state of the spawns in the game, as are not many people right now. And of course, some of the maps where the spawns are even worse, like Fortress, for example, are probably one of the only hardpoint maps remaining in this game, because a lot of the other ones, as we saw earlier today, are going to get nuked because of copyright and legal issues. Remarkable scenes. Now, let's talk about some scrims that were going down. We have, of course, look, we still hope that these maps that are in the game, the hotel map, etc., Crown Raceway, will still be playable, even though it seems unlikely. But last night there was a match going down between various teams. This was Vegas versus Boston here. Vegas managed to win Las Almas 250 to 247. Now, of course, look, it's early days. It's difficult to say what's going on. Prolete had 2 minutes 15 in the hill, so fair play on that one. But these are all the scrims that went down. I guess I should scroll down and start from the bottom. So firstly, FaZe were playing Surge yet again. The first map, FaZe won on Fortress. Then it was 1-1 at this point. Then it was 2-1 to Surge. And we'll talk about this tweet here from Clayster in a second. Then it was 2-2 after the hotel map. They tied it up. This also just to note here, because all these other teams are scrimming. They're getting ready to go. Not exactly sure what the situation is with OpTic right now, because I know Scump's, well, he's away right now. Like, he hasn't really been playing, but he has been playing at the game off stream. So not sure why he hasn't really hopped on with the guys yet, played some Search and Destroy trials and stuff. But as yet, they haven't really done anything as a full OpTic team, even though some teams are already getting reps in with their full squad. Might be something to talk about, but of course, it's still early days. And then FaZe win map 5 to take a 3-2 lead in the series. And I think that's where it kind of ended. Now, this is one of the key points to me, is Minnesota versus Boston. Is this Rokkr looking good, or is this Boston looking terrible? I mean, look, it's early days, but when you see a kind of whitewash series where one team just demolishes the other team, usually there's something maybe to talk about in that. So this is these series results are kind of intermingled by Vegas versus Surge. Vegas versus Surge, I believe, went 7-2 in Surge's favor. In fairness, Surge, like, they do have the quad Texas host or whatever, so that is an advantage. But yeah, I believe as we scroll up here, but I want to focus on the Minnesota versus Boston ones, just because Minnesota won this map 250 to 185. Then they won Fortress 250 130, or 250 to 230. Sorry, this is 250 130 on Las Almas. Then map 4 they won on Hotel. Then they go again. They play Embassy, and actually, fair play, Boston did win this one. It says Rokkr in the tweet, but actually Boston won this one 250 to 189 to fair play. Boston did get one map in the series, but so yeah, that was map 5 Embassy, and then Surge versus Vegas was still going on. Then map 6 Fortress goes in Rokkr's favor 250 242. Then on map 8 they go again here on map 7. It's a bit of a mess, honestly, but they honestly destroy them on this one. Map 7 Hotel 250 to 118, and then that's going to be it, right? In the final map of the Vegas versus Surge series is 243 to 250. So a bit tricky to keep up with, but I believe that Surge took down Vegas 7-2, and then Minnesota took down Boston 6-1. So some pretty dominant performances early on, especially out of that Minnesota camp. Now, this is an argument here from Clayster, which is totally understandable and exacerbated probably by what we've just discussed over the last couple of minutes, because everyone loves talking about scrims, and if you lose scrims, all of a sudden it's looking bad for your team. And in fairness, this happens every single year. I know that kind of the fans in the chat and stuff, like even when Shotzzy got that ace against FaZe, and then all the people in Simp and aBeZy's chat or whatever were just absolutely going rogue about it. And it's like, look, I'm sure they'd prefer just to turn the stream off, which you can certainly understand. As Clay says here, while that is a factor that pros are getting made fun of for streaming their scrims and strats purposes, he actually reckons that the key issue is the unwanted toxicity and opinions, as well as to keep us focused on practice and not entertaining. Don't say closed chat, he says. This is what Scump and stuff has said in the past as well, that really, if you're streaming your practice, your eyes and your focus is somewhat elsewhere. It's not 100% on the game, it's maybe 90% on the game or whatever, and this is understandable. At the same time, if you do want to avoid the toxicity and you want to prevent people coming into a chat and you lose one map of scrims and you say, damn, you guys are getting smoked or whatever, it's more into the chat that say this type of stuff, then it's to some degree on the pros to ensure that their environment is better for that, right? They can get moderators, they can get people to just ban all the trolls, and if you eliminate all the trolls and just take a pretty hard stance on what people are allowed to say in the chat, then the environment becomes much better. So we don't want to see pros not streaming just because they're getting roasted in the chat basically for their results, and eventually the streams will turn off anyway. That's just how it goes. We're always lucky in the early days that we get to see what people are scrimming, because they tend to stream it the first few days. Then in due course, probably over the next couple of weeks or so, really, a lot of these streams will go off, and then we won't get to see that much more from then on going forward. So we've got to enjoy it while we can, and it will go away anyway. But does Clay have a fair point here that the pros just get roasted too hard for their results? And also, it's true with what we've just discussed, right? Because every time these streams are on, then people are going to look into, okay, what were the results? Who was getting smoked? Who was doing well? Okay, Boston lost 6-1 to Minnesota. Damn, they're going to get roasted, which is kind of true, but it's also inevitable in the same vein as well, because the pros, the fans want to understand what's going on with the pros in their early scrims. Anyway, we know that Boston and Methods kept their streams on for quite a long time last season, and even there was talk from OpTic and others that they didn't want Boston to stream at their practice because they thought that, you know, even from Boston's POV, teams were going to learn stuff about what their opponents were doing on the map. So that's another concern that's been going around. But we probably do get less stream scrim action this year than we have in the past, just because the season starts so early that we're not going to get that much action of this, right? Usually we get a good few weeks of it, but it's probably going to be very limited this season just because in just a couple of weeks the season actually begins. So there really isn't the time to try and keep streaming and give anything away. But, you know, the teams for now don't really seem like they are giving anything away. They're just learning and having fun, really, or trying to have fun on Modern Warfare 2. But in due course, when they start to understand stuff, that will probably die down a little bit because some teams don't even really know the call-outs yet, right? And they're still trying to learn stuff like that. This just to say from Simp quickly, because as he says, I wish I still had the personality I had years ago. Feels like I'm in such a deep shell sometimes. Interesting comment from Simp, actually, because I do remember watching his streams back in the day. This guy used to be like super outgoing, massive trash talker, like a really entertaining personality to watch. The last few years, you know, maturing or whatever you want to say, a little bit of a different story with Simp. That's kind of the question that's raised by others. But it's interesting that Simp wishes that his personality was somewhat different. Maybe he's looking at that Scump spot on OpTic and thinking, damn, like, I want to go there. But, you know, maybe the possibility won't arise. Who knows if a guy like Pred is also an option. And just to say this here from Parasite real quick, and Slasher having a discussion on, you know, the no dots on the minimap discussion, which is still going on at the moment. Again, even the talking points about the footsteps, you can potentially turn them off in custom game settings. You can't even put them on the minimap for the CDL, and you don't even get the kind of what they had in Modern Warfare where you've got the compass thing going on where you can see the dot, you just don't know where it is on the map necessarily or how far away it is. Like, they've just got rid of that seemingly, and if you're getting shot from somewhere, you basically have no idea where it is, and even the sound isn't great either. So that's another concern that just exacerbates really the problems with Modern Warfare 2. And it wouldn't be so bad if the maps were okay, but we talked earlier today the fact that that's not really the case right now. And just to say this, I thought was funny. This is over at the Modern Warfare 2 subreddit, and this guy Metal4Life98 says the following: played against the pro COD champion player last night, was not fun. Octane, for anyone wondering, dude was shredding us. Homie had over 80 kills, 0 seconds on the hardpoint, constant VTOL and counter UAV just about the whole game. Terrible experience, would not recommend playing against him. So I thought this is pretty funny. And even this I thought was pretty wise here from iAmEclipse. Well, the enemy can't take the hardpoint if they are not alive. So yeah, definitely just get more kills is his philosophy, and it's probably a good one. And just this from Brian Stats as well to close out, I thought was pretty crazy. Most 1.20 plus overall KDs in a LAN victory. Like, 2 players are far and above the rest here. Clay, Crim, Simp, etc. They've got 2, 3 events maybe. Scump and Formal T2P have had 9 events each on LAN with a 1.20 plus KD for the victory. So pretty crazy stuff. And this is kind of the list of just some examples. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
Here, hang on.
On your right, Carson, in our spawn, right side.
Yeah.
Inside, onto your right, Carson. Last guy's there too. Oh! Oh my god! I just saw that. Oh, bro! No, dude. Yo, this is Carson's year right here, bro. I'm telling you. Yo, Carson actually just played them like a fiddle.